You know, it's never too late to start a fitness routine. My guest today is Danny McDermott, a world expert in bodybuilding and fitness. He has a compelling personal story of tragedy and triumph that he will share with us today. And he'll also give us some superb advice on exercise. Danny, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, Larry.
Danny, I've known you for a long time now, and we're friends. You're also a patient of mine, and you're a successful businessman. But you had another career, in a way. You were a very successful champion bodybuilder. And then you had something very bad happen to you. Why don't you briefly tell us about that?
Well, what happened was, Larry, is I was training as a powerlifter and a bodybuilder for many years. And when I was done with my powerlifting career, I got back into bodybuilding and was training for various competitions. And what happened in 1982, I blew my neck out in bodybuilding, so I retired from the sport. I also retired from the use of steroids. Unfortunately, move the calendar up a little bit. In 1989, I had a massive heart attack, which required me to have a 4-way bypass surgery.
And you were how old? At
36.
36. And you've had some friends who did steroids back then and had some heart attacks?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we had one of my best friends, my training partner, just died very recently. Last year, June, was the most recent one. And we had some people die very early on, and one died right in the gym.
Yeah. And back then, steroids, nobody knew that they were bad for you. And in your era, I guess, people took them and didn't really know that there was any dangers associated with them.
There was a different mindset. It was like you had to earn the right to take them. Yeah. And we looked at them as super vitamins. We had no idea it was going to cause all these internal problems that's showing up today.
Yeah, and as you know, I published a study about bodybuilders who took steroids and had a significantly higher chance of having heart disease at a very, very young age. So that was the tragedy of your life. But then you went on to have surgery, and now what are you doing now?
Well, I was still in my business, and I also have a Olympic weightlifting gym in Anaheim. I train Olympic weightlifting athletes, and also people that want to just enjoy the sport of Olympic weightlifting. And that's what I do. It's kind of a hobby as well.
Yeah. And so these kids are not using steroids, obviously, right?
Oh, no, no. And the rules for an Olympic athlete, the USA weightlifting is it's got to be steroid-free, and if you get drug tested with steroids, you'll be banned from the sport for a given period of time, usually 2 years.
Yeah. So you've seen both sides of it. You can see that you could have a heart attack, survive, and be fit and live a great life just like you'd have after you've changed your diet and exercise, and that you can have competitive athletes who don't use steroids anymore.
Oh, yes.
So for the couch potato person in their 40s and 50s who wants to start exercise, what do you recommend? Should they just go out and go to boot camp, and since they're the worst fit, should they do the most exercise right off the bat? Or how would you, what are your guidelines now?
Well, first, Larry, they've been sitting around for that long. I want them to see you first.
See me first.
And make sure they're in good health. Yeah. And then when they come to me, I have a very important question I ask everybody. What is it about health and fitness that's important to you? Once we get that addressed, then I sit down, I design a program that I think would fit their physical abilities at the time. Not everybody's the same. Right. And some people are very athletical. Some people have never, been on an athlete field their whole life. So we take what's appropriate for them, and we start with a lot of body movements, a lot of biomechanics, and correct a lot of things that they're moving their bodies wrong, and things like this, so they can appropriately use their body to do exercises with.
So is aerobic exercise part of it?
Aerobic exercises, what we usually recommend they do is about between 20 and 25 minutes a day, and they can choose whatever exercise they want to do. It could be riding the bike, it could be a treadmill, ellipticals, whatever they want to do. I like the stationary bike. So because they have to do it with something that they agree to do, number one, and they find fun, and that they will actually do it.
What are the 4 basic exercises that you would recommend if they could do that?
One of the best exercises you can do, and I know people don't like this one, is squats. Because you're putting a load on your back. If you can take a load, maybe you can't, maybe you just go do body squats. But that trains your whole body.
Body squats mean you don't have a load mean you don't have any weights on you. You just squat down, bend your knees, and should you bend them all the way down or just level, or to your...
If you look at cultures and the human being in different cultures, everybody always squats all the way down to where their butt's almost touching the ground. That is the proper squat.
That's the proper squat.
With your back straight up, chest out, and come back up again. Your body doesn't want to just sit there at a half squat. It's really kind of hard on the knees. You want to squat all the way. That's what the body wants to. That's the biomechanics we always talk about.
Oh, I see.
You got to do it toward what the body's designed to do.
So the full range of motion
full
of that
range of
muscle.
motion is very
And
important.
then if after squats, what would you recommend?
Well, squats, and then if you're doing body exercises, you have push-ups,
Okay.
you have pull-ups, you
Pull-ups
have,
meaning you get on a bar and pull. Like,
yeah, you can have the knuckles either which way. You do that. If you have something to do dips with, you can do body lunges. These things you can do right in the comfort of your own home. Or you can go to a gym and get, with a trainer and start using some free weights. I don't recommend machines.
No machines. Okay.
No machines. Machines, what you're doing is you're pushing against an object that is doing the motion for you. As you get older, you're going to get weaker. So what you want to do, you want to combat that by getting stronger. So when you have free weights, it's training your body as you're maybe doing barbell curls. The rest of your body's got to support your arms while you're doing that. So that's why I always recommend free weights, barbells, dumbbells, and in some case kettlebells.
And part of your concept, you had mentioned to me, every exercise should be balanced. If there's what did you say, a push, there should be a counteracting pull. Is that right?
Exactly. Most Americans are front-loaded because that's what we see in the mirror.
Front-loaded meaning they're
The front
building.
body, yeah. And so what happens is the back suffers. Everything from the hamstrings, the back muscles, so all of a sudden they have an imbalanced body, especially with athletes. I see a lot of athletes with hamstring injuries, shoulder injuries, ACL injuries. It's basically because they have never trained the backside of their bodies.
So the idea is to do full range of motion, do things slowly, start without any weights or loading, as you said, and whatever muscle you're using to pull, you want to do a counteracting muscle to.
Correct.
Now, what about nutrition? Do you recommend supplements, or what do you recommend for your people?
If you have a well-balanced diet, I don't think supplements are really that necessary. For example, I always tell my athletes that, plenty of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, never go hungry and never get full.
Never go hungry, never get full. That's a good concept.
Right, so if you really look at it, an apple's a meal. A little carton of cottage cheese is a meal. So if you do that, you're probably having you're grazing throughout the day. And if you do that, your body is metabolizing that, and not just that, but you're also losing weight.
So even like fish oil, do you recommend anything?
Fish oils are tremendous for heart and joint health. So most of my athletes, I recommend they take fish oils.
And so after exercise, what would be what should you have? What is the one food do you think you should have after exercise?
This is what surprises everybody when I say this. Chocolate, low-fat chocolate milk. Within 20 minutes after you exercise, a little carton of low-fat chocolate milk. Now, just for the fun of it today, I was explaining this to somebody. I said, look, here's a supplement you can buy. It costs for 14 servings almost $40. Or you can go buy 14 cartons of chocolate milk. Oh. Which way would you rather have it? Weightlifters never have any money, so they go to the chocolate milk. And it does the same job.
That's a great advice. We're just about out of time, so what would be the Danny McDermott advice that you would give to us today?
Well, for all the couch potatoes, those bad habits you hate, replace it with a good habit.
Okay.
Be very patient with it. Okay. Go methodically slow into it to where your own body can adjust to it. And you know what? Have fun while you're doing it.
Great. That's great advice. I learned a lot again.